from Road Racing DP here. I'm doing a short, hopefully short, comparison video here on braking distances and aggressiveness of downshifts, comparing 2 or 3 cars, starting off here in the Le Mans LMP1 RWDP30. Now what I'm looking at here is how late you can brake in one car compared to another, how aggressive you can go down the gears in one car to another. Now I'm starting in the Le Mans car because these have fantastic braking distances and you can be very aggressive on the downshifts. So we're going to start off in the, like I said, the RWD P30. I'll tell you what, I'll put the telemetry on as well. Now the reason I'm doing this is I've had a few people mention to me about how can I brake so late. Well, a lot of the time it all depends on the car. And to be honest, I mean, with some of the cars you can brake what appears to be quite late, but if you go and jump in a road car afterwards, try braking at the same point, you're not going to be able to make it, and that's just something I'm going to try and show here. Now I haven't driven the LMP ones for a few days now, so don't focus on any of these corners, because the ones I'm really interested in are the chicanes on the Mulsanne straight. And for anyone who doesn't know which straights they are, they're the longest ones with the 2 chicanes in the middle. Okay, so as we get ready for approaching the chicane, I'm going to try and brake at what I think is a good braking distance for this car into those corners. And obviously the aim is to take it quick, without locking up, without spinning the car. Now the windscreen wiper where it is, it does make it a little bit tricky to see where the braking zone is. But the marker point we look out for is the big black mark in the road here. But you'll see I was able to go very aggressively down the gears and make the corner quite comfortably. Now I can be honest with you, I didn't take that as fast as it could be taken, mainly because I'm struggling to see. So I'm going to change view to this view so you can see the big black marks on the road, which are the usual braking, well, they look like the braking points, but that's your marker to see how far away from it I brake. You can see it coming up now. Now I braked on it, but took the corner very slow, but didn't spin the car out. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to go for it again, but we're going to try being much more aggressive on this occasion to see if there is a limit that you can brake in this particular car. Now as we approached the first chicane on the previous run, we didn't get to see the big black tyre marks because I was using in car view and there was too much sun glare, but you should be able to see it on this occasion. Now on the previous run I did brake quite a bit before it. This time, like I said, I'm going to be much more aggressive, so I'm going to brake a little later. I'm going to be more aggressive on the downshifts. Some of you may think you can't be a bit more aggressive on the downshifts. Oh, you can. But this is a car that it has no problem whatsoever with you whacking it down the gears up to a point. Okay, let's see if we can do this then. Now over this crest we should be able to see the black mark on the road. We can, it's coming up now. So hard on the brakes, second gear, and we're losing the rear end because that was a little bit too late and I had to be too aggressive on the brakes. Okay, on the run down into the second chicane, on the previous run I did brake at just about the black mark, so we're going to be more aggressive again. Now for the other comparison clips I'm going to add on to this, the black mark on the road is key to see how far away we have to go from that to make the corner. Okay, down to second gear and she's gone. She's gone. Okay, so now we've jumped into a touring car, and I've picked this car for a reason, and that's because this is the car that I currently hold the world record lap time around the Le Mans circuit in time trial. So I know that this car is pretty damn good around this track. For those of you that know which car it is already, then you won't need to see which it is. For those of you that don't, it is the the Mercedes C-Coupe DTM. Okay, I will go on to bonnet view again. Now in this car I do prefer to use the in-car view, but for the purposes of this I'll use this view so that you can see the tyre marks into the braking zone. Now I've seen the LMP1 approaching those corners and how late we was able to brake and how aggressively we was able to downshift. I am just going to cruise it sort of up to the start of the Mulsanne straight, because it is only that part that I want to focus on at the moment. Now obviously this is still a race car like the LMP1, but it's a completely different car, handles completely differently, capable of completely different things. Okay, so as we approach the Mulsanne, we shall prepare ourselves. Now I'm going to try and brake at what I would consider my usual braking point for this car around this particular corner coming up, but keep an eye out on how much further away from the black tyre marks I will be. So probably 50 metres away, and I still didn't make the corner. So we've had to brake earlier to try and make the corner, but even then we've still had a spin. Now that could be because I probably did brake a little bit too late, to be honest, but also I'm not used to driving this car on this view. That's my excuse. Get them in. You're not a racing driver unless you've got your excuses already prepared. Okay, so we'll go and try again and try and get the corner right this time. When I was trying to do it right that time, but obviously, oh, DRS is still open. Don't want to do that. That's because I've just been driving a car before the LMP1. I was driving a car, we had to hold the DRS button, so I was holding it, so when I came to that corner, I let my finger off the button, but DRS was still open. That's one of the downsides to this telemetry screen. It doesn't really tell you that if your DRS is open or not. But there you go. More excuses coming. Okay, so we'll try and get the braking point right this time. But you'll notice on that run then, we did brake quite a bit before the tyre marks and didn't make the corner. And quite possibly had a little bit too much brake pressure on as well. But you'll notice it's not often that I'll go fully on the brakes. You don't always need to. See, now that was a little bit wiggly, but we got it just about right. And as we head towards the second one, I'm going to try and brake here at the start of the black tyre marks, like we did in the LMP1 car. Now just before the tyre marks in the LMP1, I could make the corner. On the tyre marks, I couldn't, so this should have a similar effect. And we've lost it, because the car can't handle braking that late. Okay, onto the road car. Now in the McLaren P1, what I'm going to do, to start off with, I'm going to try and brake at a similar point to the touring car. So I would not expect this car to be able to brake anywhere near as late as the LMP1 car, but come on, it is a really, really good road car apparently. So we'll see how it compares to the touring car, and then what we'll do is, because I know what's going to happen, then what we'll do is we're going to back it up and see how early we are going to have to brake to be able to make the corner. Now some people may wonder why I did mention that I don't go fully on the brakes at times. Well, I'll try and show you. it does just lock up and get very, very wiggly. But one thing that hopefully you will see while I attempt these corners is in the road car, at least in this McLaren P1, initially you can go full brakes, but if you keep it full brake, it won't like it. Okay, so as you approach the corner, see the black mark coming up, touring car brakes about here, and we're getting close to making the corner, and there we have a big crash. So we know already you can't brake at the same point as the touring car, and that's why I didn't even bother trying to brake where the LMP1 car did. Now admittedly, yes, you could say, well, the brakes are a bit cold, the tyres are a bit cold, but it's time trial. The tyre temperatures don't make that much of a difference. The reason it can't slow the car down enough at that point is it's a road car. It's just way too late. Now, as I said, you can go full brakes early in the early stages of braking, but as I'll show here, if you do it when you're cornering, it doesn't like it. If you're in a straight line, it's not too bad, but as soon as you get down to sort of fourth, you do have to be getting off the brakes a bit. The slower your car is going, the more you need to be getting off the brakes, because if you don't, you're just going to lock them up. If anyone that's unsure about that one, just remember, if you did the young driver test on the F1 games, it is one of the things that it did used to tell you about on there. Brake hard at first, but then get off the brakes gradually. Okay, so this time we're going to head down and we're going to try and actually make the corner. Now I don't want to brake too soon, because then we're just not going to really see anything, but obviously we do know that we've got to brake earlier than the touring car did. We're going to try and be quite aggressive on the downshifts. It's third gear and it's spinning. So I was very aggressive sort of down the first 3 gears. The car had no problem with that, but then we were just going too fast for that final downshift to get us into the corner, and had I just turned in, we wouldn't have made the corner anyway. Okay, on this one, let's see if we can actually make the corner. Now this is the car that I was mentioning I was driving before, where you have to hold the DRS button on for it to be active. You let go of it for it to deactivate. As I said a little earlier, I'm not a big fan of this car on this game, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of it at all. I have found it quite tricky to drive. Okay, let's concentrate to try and make the corner. Remember, let's see how much sooner than the black tyre marks we are on the brakes. Probably about 200 metres before. But we made the corner, although a little slidey on the exit. Okay, we'll run down to the second chicane, and again we're going to try and brake at a point that will get us around the corner, and have a look at how far away the black tyre marks are. They were a mile away, and that's the difference between your top-end race car, your middle-end race car, and your top-end road car. Anyway, that's the end of the comparison video. I've been from Road Racing DP. I hope this has helped, and I shall see you again soon.